this fresh stuff, just used normal ground. Really, to be very honest, it's for the colour. But also the great thing is there's the health benefits behind it as well. Okay, so a little bit of garlic. I'm just going to let that do its thing. So with kuzu, it's granulated like this. It's really, really chalky. And you must mix it with cold water, okay? So that is the #1 thing. Otherwise it doesn't work. It's just really weird. It doesn't, so it turns into sort of a chalky paste. A bit like when you would sort of mix in corn flour and stuff, but because it's granulated and it's like seaweed, it turns liquid very, very quickly. So this is what's going to thicken our sauce. So I'm just going to let that cook off for a minute.
So you could use that in all your cooking instead of corn flour?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And it doesn't taste...
It doesn't, no, it doesn't taste like anything. Corn flour. You know how corn flour, you have to cook it off and cook it off. Yeah, it's really good. It's brilliant. And great for putting into, like I said, in compots, because it helps with digestion and things like that. So yeah, what I was going to say to you about when you get home, make sure that, first of all, preparation is key. So take lunch and stuff with you. If you're in the afternoon, that's when you start to pick up the eating and the craving. It's because your blood sugar levels aren't balanced. So it's really important to have your little snacks along the way, and healthy snacks. If you have something too sugary and you're going to go and buy a granola bar from Pret or something, it's packed full of sugar. So there's really no point in, you might as well have a chocolate bar. It's doing the same thing to your body. And then,
I had a quick question about that, because so I don't eat much sugar now, which is great, but
Yeah.
the nuts I've like literally turned into some form of squirrel, and that is so now I'm like, right, okay, that's you're managing that. So healthy snack wise, what would you advise? Because
so
I really
things like hummus, you know, you can get. I've become slightly obsessed with hummus and rice cakes at the moment. I just, yeah, it's weird. I eat them a lot. Hummus and rice cakes, but you can make hummus with blend up spinach and hummus and things like that, avocado, anything that's kind of the good fat side of things. Even just having some coconut oil on a piece of toast will be a bit more long-term filling than just having a handful of nuts. Okay, so I'm going to add some, that's garlic though.
Best smell.
Okay, I'm just going to mix this in. Just going to let that bubble away for a minute, and then you'll see. So you have to bring it up to temperature to then get it to turn into a thick sauce. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit at a time, because then you can see how it progresses. And then, do you have a good protein powder?
no.
Okay, get something called Sun Warrior. The original vanilla one, I think, is the nicest. And I mix it with rice milk. And if I get home, like last night, I went for a workout and I didn't get home till 9 o'clock. I wasn't going to eat dinner. I had a protein smoothie. And it was absolutely more than enough. It's just, eating that late at night, it's just going to sit on your stomach, and it's just, you're not going to sleep well. It's funny because I went away on the weekend and I never normally have a huge breakfast. I don't generally have eggs and stuff. Unless it's on the weekend, I'll have a smoothie. But because we were away, I was cooking breakfast for us for every morning. I was cooking a massive lunch, and then I was cooking a dinner. I slept so badly because I had so much food in my body. It was too much energy. And you've got to, one of the things is, you've got to realise that the food is giving you energy. So if you're eating too much, you're not going to sleep well, or you're going to be overtired. It really does have a massive balance on how you feel throughout the day. So if you're getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier throughout the day, it means that you're not starting the day the right way. So what do you have for breakfast?
A bit of a range between porridge, sometimes it will be yogurt and cereal mixed together, not often eggs, but if I'm at home at the weekends I will do eggs because I have time, and so that's kind of like why I know I'm not very disciplined about it.
Yeah. So in your porridge, do you put coconut oil or have avocado or nut butter or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so one of the things is anyone eat porridge and then like an hour later they're starving. It's basically seen as sugar in the body, so unless you have the fat with it, it's not going to keep you sustained for a long time. So if you just put, like I'm going to show you in a minute, we're going to put a tablespoon of cashew butter in it, or you can put coconut oil in it, or I mash up avocado in my porridge. So you can, it helps to sustain you for longer. You need to have the fat in there. Or if you're, you know, along the lines of the Helmsleys and you have butter and stuff, put a glob of butter in there, because it's the fat that's going to help you stay full for longer. So that might help you as well. Put some cinnamon in there.
Yeah, big fan of cinnamon. I think it's really good.
Me too.
Yeah.
How does this work? Okay, so this is going to start boiling. So you've got to get it to the point of boiling. So I'm going to bring this up to the boil as well now for the poached egg. I just put some apple cider vinegar in there, so that helps kind of bring the protein together so it doesn't go all mushy everywhere. One of the things with poaching an egg, I find if you bring it to a rolling boil and it goes all over the place, that's when your egg goes everywhere. You actually need to bring it down to a very small simmer and just cook it for slightly longer. Okay, so I'm going to just bring this down now.
Can you make poached eggs in advance? So would that be something you could batch? Or would it go off?
No, they won't go off. Boiling an egg perhaps is a nice way because the yolk, when it's cold, is quite yolky,
Okay.
if you know what I mean. I know it sounds a bit weird, but you can. It's a bit of it's a stylist trick actually. If you're making poached eggs and you want to keep them drippy for a long time, put them into freezing cold water straight away. It's shock cold, it freezes it, and it won't carry on cooking. So if you see any photographs of eggs dripping in lovely photographs, then that's normally how they're made. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in now. Just give it a bit of a stir because it's gone quite sort of sticky at the bottom again. So this is probably about maybe about half the amount we want. Let's see what happens.
So what was in the other cup, Natasha?
Oh, it's just milk.
Oh, that was milk.
Yeah, it was just that.
I thought it was a lot of
Yeah, I can.
It thickens really quickly, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So it's not like cornstarch where it takes ages and ages and ages to cook out. So we're probably going to put a little bit more in there as well. I want to get it the right consistency. It's just quite a fun trick to learn.
Sounds like tub food.
Smells delicious.
Okay. So it's probably about 2 tablespoons in here, which is what's in the recipe. And this recipe's on the website as well, so you can have a go at it. So it's just a very small amount of water, and then mix it all together. Yeah, so this is a good one for gravy. You want to spend hours on the stove, like making it thick. Everyone's hungry, so just a little bit at a time. And again, like I always say to people, unless you've burnt it, you can always fix it. So people always panic that they're going to ruin something. If you put too much of this, don't panic. Just put some more liquid in. It's just, you know, it's not a big deal. And if it's not thick enough, just add a bit more. It's the same with like salad dressings or anything like that. If it's too lemony or it's too tart, just add some more olive oil. You're going to end up with a massive vat of it, but freeze it. I freeze everything. I'm one of those people. Okay, so I'm just going to put this to one side while our egg goes. That's pretty good. Okay, might need some salt actually. Himalayan salt, anyone use Himalayan salt?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
No.
No. Huh? Northern. Himalayan salt, if you think about where Malden salt or any salt comes from, it's evaporated from the sea. Himalayan salt is coming from a rock. It's got so many more minerals in it. It's actually Dr. Robert Young, who is the pioneer behind alkaline food, actually says having a bit of Himalayan salt in your water every morning is incredibly alkalizing for the system. So, and he knows his stuff. Okay, so we've got our toast in. Let's go for another one. Okay, so this is getting, I can hear it starting to bubble away now, so that's good. Give this a taste. Always taste your food as you go. So many people come to my classes and they don't taste their food, they just trust me implicitly. And I'm like, no, you must taste it because you might have a different taste to me. I'm going to put a little squeeze of lemon in there. Okay. Right, come on, heat up. Give it a couple of seconds. Right. I'm getting hungry now, that's for sure. Okay, what other questions were there while I'm waiting for this to heat
Something
up?
sweet to have.
Oh, you, yes. Okay. Batch cook brownies and things like that. Freeze them.
Yeah.
I do that. I freeze everything. You can make cakes.
Because I'd eat them if they were there unfrozen.
Freeze them.
So freeze them.
Freeze them and take one out in the morning because it will
Yeah.
be defrosted by the evening. Okay, can you see that it's starting to sort of bubble away now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's when I'm going to put my egg in. I'm not going to wait for it to be a rolling boil.
You make that look easy, and I
Yeah.
know it's not.
It
You
is.
could do 2 at a time.
What's it going?
I thought you were supposed to go.
No, see that's
Vortex
it just turns into
sends it everywhere.
it just makes it go absolutely everywhere. It will start moving because it will the bubbles at the bottom are going to push the egg up. So, but hopefully by the time that happens, they would have solidified enough. And because of using the apple cider vinegar, it solidifies the protein. It pulls the proteins together. Yeah, so if you really want them like in that perfect little round ball, one of the best things to do is get like a ramekin, pour a bit of apple cider vinegar in the bottom, and then crack the egg on the top, and you pour it in, so it all kind of goes together. So that's quite if you're doing it for a shoot, you tend to put loads of apple cider vinegar in it, and you just do it that way. Okay.
How much would you normally have to use then?
Well, I just put probably about a tablespoon in here. So, but it doesn't really taste. It doesn't go into the egg, so it doesn't really matter. So maybe thicken this up a little bit more. Ready to go. So it's quite like the turmeric's made it go really
Zingy.
no, like a highlighter. Yeah. So you can see it's like all over my thumbs.
Every wooden spoon I own is orange now.
Yeah.
So,
I know. That's just the way it goes though. Right. So one of the things that I absolutely hate is overcooking spinach. I just think, spinach should look like that when you eat it. What's it? Hate these ovens.
I hate those.
I know, yeah, because you can't control it.
Just quick enough.
Right, okay, so. Oh, I didn't bring mine.
What to be said with that?
Yeah, much better.
Seeing that
Huh?
flame,
Yeah.
seeing gas bulbs.
Okay, so this really doesn't take more than about 2 to 3 minutes, so it would fit in, the egg bit would fit in with your...
But you could make the holidays and freeze it or keep it in the...
I haven't actually frozen it before.
But keep it in the fridge or not?
Yeah, you could keep it in the fridge. I haven't seen how many days it goes for,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine it would... I'm sure it would be alright for about 4 days. 4 days is a lucky number with all food anyway. So spinach, like I said, it when something hot hits it, it cooks it. So I tend to not cook my spinach because as soon as I put the sauce on it and I put the eggs on and stuff like that, it's gonna Okay. My eggs are done. See, no fuss. They didn't go crazy all over the place. It's all about just getting them when it's simmering rather than when it is easy.
You make it look easy. You make it look super easy.
Well, that's the idea for you to then try it, right? Okay. And then you can pour this over the top.
What sort of bread was that? Was that a rye?
It's millet, actually. It's one of my favourites at the moment. Trying to get my husband off. I got him off normal bread and got him onto spelt sourdough. But I found out the other day that the one that I buy has got wheat in it, so I'm trying to get him off that now. It's probably no pepper. Perfect for a picture.
Beautiful, lovely.
So that's quite a nice sort of Sunday morning breakfast. And you can, like you said, I bet you that would freeze actually.
Yeah.